It's going to start again. Hello and welcome to the After Blab for episode 111 of the Beyond Social Media Show, which we're now recording on Blab. And David Erickson and I co-host the show, and we cover every week the best and the worst cases in digital communications in the past week. And we bring you some shiny new objects and some stats you should know. And this week, Chef Dennis, this week we covered the most disgusting thing that happened, in my opinion, on 9/11, which was the Florida gun shop that posted a video saying that their gun shop was a Muslim-free zone. And what they had that was funny was, what was it called, Dave? Liberal Tears?
Liberal Tears gun oil.
Yeah. And, the guy kept at it, and people, pushed back against him. And by evening, he'd made the evening news on every channel, which, of course, was what the Ponscom wanted. So he got what he wanted to have. It was just very sad. David and Matt and Chef Dennis, hello, welcome. So we also covered, tell us about some of the other things that we talked about this week, Dave.
Well, the Apple event, we talked a lot about that. So the Apple event, among the things that came out of that was the ability to subscribe to an iPhone. So you can subscribe to iPhones and get an upgrade immediately, so you don't go by the 2-year sort of carrier contract model that they had before. Now you pay $32 to $40 some dollars a month, and you can subscribe to your iPhone and upgrade at any time. So when the new iPhone comes out, you can get the new version of it. However, you're paying 200% more than you were paying before in the previous version. So it's
but it is an unlocked iPhone.
It is an unlocked iPhone. Yep.
That,
Apple Care Plus plan. So I don't know. BL, you seem ready to subscribe, but I'm I'm
thinking about it because I'm kind of an Apple fangirl. What can I tell you?
But the other things they have is they've got a touch-sensitive haptic feedback, so you can press harder, and now the new operating system recognizes that feedback. Basically what it does is it measures the technical version of it. It measures the distance between the light that is emitted between the layer of glass that you're pressing on and the sensors below it. And so it measures that different distance and can calculate the pressure that you're putting on your phone. And it's using that to add new features to the iPhone. So among those new features are the ability to, when you're going through your email, pressing and holding on your email, and you get a little pop-up screen of what's in the actual email. So there's a preview of the contents of the email rather than just reading the subject line and the preview line that's in your inbox. And so that email marketers are going to have to pay attention to how you design your emails so that you're giving content that teases people to actually open up the email and read the rest of it.
So we have an open seat here if somebody'd like to join us, and we would love to hear your opinion about Apple's announcements and whether you think that's a ripoff or a great deal. To me, that sounds like a great deal. What happens, unfortunately, no matter who you buy the damn phone from, is that you immediately have to get a new plan. You can't just continue the plan that you have. So what that Apple plan will do, and I had such a big issue when I got a new phone, what that Apple plan will do is let you go around to different carriers, find out who's got the best deal, and just take that deal. I spent, days negotiating a new deal with AT&T, and it's not the best one by any means that I ended up with. But, what are you going to do? There I am. I have the phone. I'm locked in for 2 years. Uh-oh.
Yep. The other thing from the Apple announcement was the Apple TV upgrade, where they will have now an app store for Apple TV. So you will be able to, developers will be able to develop apps for specifically the television. It comes with, right now it launches with Major League Baseball app, HBO, Netflix, Hulu.
That's pretty cool.
Guitar Hero. So they're going after the gamer market too. So the controller is motion sensitive. You can use the controller as a gaming device. So it's a big industry. If they could get a chunk of the video game industry. That'd be great. Hello.
Good morning, Elaine. How are you?
Hi there, David. Well, I'm getting to meet David for the first time, so this is rather fun, and and so I want to congratulate you for getting bold and venturing into new playgrounds, because that's what they are.
It is a
And
playground. Yeah.
and and we'll see what new features continue to emerge over the next couple
But
weeks,
we got
couple
some
months.
pushback. We got some people telling us, don't talk about blabs on Hangouts. And I actually went to one of them and said, I'm just curious to know who's Auto Network. Well, we'll find out. I'm just curious to know, what is your objection? And no response. I just object to new technology would have probably been the response. And, that was from the coach, Dave. Okay, Auto Network, why not? Who are you? Hello.
Mysterious name.
Hello.
Who
I should
are
have put my real name in there. I'm Roosevelt.
Oh, Rose Milkist, how are you?
Yes, I've watched your show and I've emailed you or texted you a couple of times.
Yes, you have. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, I'm
Thanks
have
for
to go.
joining us.
Thank you for the invite.
Yeah, well, I mean, we just really want to incorporate into the show as many new ways of reaching our audience as we possibly can. And we plan to use Blabs to do interviews because it seems to me like a really terrific resource for interviews. So that's definitely a way to go. But I was on Blabs like all day yesterday, and it, as Elaine can tell you, is completely addictive.
Oh, I agree. It is addictive. All of these live stream technologies are addictive when you go in for the first time. The day will pass quickly. I remember when I did the live stream, I did, Ustream, I did YouTube, then Meerkat and Periscope and Hangouts and business Hangouts on air, and now we have Blab. So.
Well, there's a Periscope conference in New York in a week or so, and so Periscope's not going away, that's for sure. But this is just a different thing because this is designed for real interactivity, whereas Periscope is a broadcast. That's a very different kind of thing. But what's really cool to me about this is last year, Ronnie Bincer and Jeff C. went to South by Southwest and tried to do remote hangouts from there. And that involved, 20 people or more helping, because you couldn't start a hangout from a mobile device. And you had to start it from a computer and then be invited in. And it required all this equipment. This requires nothing. This is really cool. And they just added to it just yesterday, upload your video to YouTube, which isn't working particularly well. But knowing these guys and how fast they fix things, I'll bet you by the end of the day today it will. Because right now it's an unwieldy, huge file. So something has to be done to compact that file or something, But it means you don't have to download the MP4 and upload it yourself. But, if it works, that's great. And if it's not, downloading the MP4 is not that big a deal.
Well, the simpler the better for me. All of these to me are just tools, and you have to determine which one is best for you to use, for what you want to accomplish. Like I plan on using Periscope to give a preview of what we're going to do for our live show on Business Hangouts for that week. So I'm just going to give the topics. And then when we do the live show, which we do every Thursday at 3 p.m. from 3 to 4, I have about 6 automotive journalists from around the country. And we just talk about topics in automotive, like you talk about topics in different subjects. But we primarily stick to automotive. Sometimes we'll have a guest on that's not in the automotive field, just to get small businesses exposure. And I plan to use Blabs like you're doing here pretty much as an after show. No. To get other people involved in pretty much the same topics that we'll talk about in Business Hangout.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
I was just going to add that onto what BL said. We plan on using this for interviews. And the thing that we're discussing was for people who are not using Hangouts. Doing an interview is going to be a lot easier using Blabs because it's so easy to use, because you don't have to figure out all the ins and outs of how Hangouts work and do a test show and make sure that all your technology is working for the Hangouts. My computer is calling.
The only thing about Blabs,
I hear that.
Yeah, the only thing about Blabs for interviews, you don't know who you're going to get in. Like
No, you don't.
BL was talking about, well, who's Auto Network?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
most
mean,
of the time,
well, I could always kick them out.
yeah, most of the time an interviewer wants to know, well, who's your audience? Who's going to be there? What kind of questions are going to be asked? And yeah, you
Well,
have
that's
to.
one of the features I've asked them for. It also is like before you're coming in, like when you're the next one in, just some warning. So you haven't just,
Right.
taken a bite of your sandwich or whatever while you're waiting. And just something that lets you know that you're next up, because that happened to me the other day, as a matter of fact, with the Blab guys. Oh, I'm on, I mean, it's just like,
Or laying in bed with your shirt off or something
well,
like
you
that.
shouldn't be in Blab if you're doing that, but but that would be nice. And so I asked them for that, and knowing them, like we'll have that soon, because that's just the way it is around here.
Oh,
And
I know. I've been watching and seeing how they make the updates.
yeah, it's pretty amazing. And Elaine, you're on here all the time. Tell us what you're doing with Blabs.
In the last week, I have been doing, like you, post-show blabs for my Hangout on Air. One of the things that I've been doing on Blab in the last week is just going on other shows of topics of interest of me. Hey, that's how your face gets known. That's how people come to follow you. So then every time you're putting up a notification, it will go out to them. Well, that's a good thing. I expect to be trying out different kinds of shows on Blab that I wouldn't try out on Hangouts on Air, because I could, try a format and see if it kind of flies. See if I like doing it.
It's so flexible. You can just, do whatever you do. But one of the things that I'd like to see, and I think it's coming, it's on the list, is, to be able to do an event page here. And because in order to explain what we were doing, I had to put in the comments, like, here's where our show is, because there's really no way to tell people who are not generally watching your show who you are and what you're doing. So, this is all new and it's fun, and I'm excited about it because, Communications Week is in New York is in October, and I'm going to lead a panel about Blab and PR, and there will be an audience among PR firms, and it's so hard Dave works for a very forward-thinking PR firm, and it's always because he's there trying new things and, on top of technology, but most PR firms are woefully behind in the area of technology, and, for me, that's very sad.
I think for bloggers,
go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think bloggers could use this to a great effect. I do a Minnesota Vikings blog, and so part of what I do to engage people in the blog is Twitter chat during the game using the Vikings hashtag and everything. This is tailor made for after the game, inviting those people in and talking about what just happened in the game.
Well, also it's tied to Twitter, so I mean it's like a video Twitter chat. That's pretty amazing. Really, I haven't seen people actually doing that yet, but
I'm going to be doing that this Monday after the Vikings.
Yes, I bet you will, and I'm going to watch just to see. Not that I'm a big Vikings fan, because I'm not, but
being able to start a launch of Blab from mobile, to me, is one of the best features, because I get invited to new car press launches, and it'll be great to sit there, and I couldn't run it doing the actual presentation because you'll have people talking back and forth. But it's great for right afterwards to walk around and, like I said, I can do a quick interview. I can also talk to other automotive.
You can show the car.
Yeah, that are invited there. I do that, and every week I get a new car to test drive. So it'll be great to be in the car, being able to launch it, or if I want to park somewhere and have people to walk up to the car and, what is this? What is that? Like when the Beetle came out, I had literally people running down the street, wanting me to stop so they could see the new Beetle.
Well, I can imagine, because that's a cool looking car.
So having something like Blab would be perfect for those kinds of situations. And like you said, with bloggers, it would be extremely valuable for a blogger.
Yeah.
Well, I think product launches,
Conference reporting from conferences. I imagine
definitely.
CES is going to be huge. Blab will
Yeah.
be huge for CES.
I
Now,
was talking to Chef to Dennis the other day, to Chef Litley, and he was in Disneyland, and there were birds, and I'm like, "Do you have birds?" And he's like, "No, I'm at Disneyland." And he turns the phone around, and there's this gorgeous, like he's in this fabulous tropical paradise, and it was perfectly clear. Try that on a hangout.
Now, Buick does a lot of product launches where they have chefs there preparing meals for us. So it would be great to have something like this, and like you say, get a Chef Dennis in and talk about what's going on and how he would prepare the meal differently, or even make a few comments about the car itself. So
that would definitely be fun.
And the other interesting thing is, and we've seen Chef Dennis do this on a couple of his mobile shows. He will use 2 Blab seats because he's got 2 different Twitter accounts. And so he can have one where he's sitting interviewing someone, or it's just him. And then he can have a mobile phone, on a, on a tripod or something. And he can show like what the environment is. It's really cool.
It really
there
is
are all
cool.
kinds
And
of
I haven't seen too many people doing, technically interesting things yet, but they will. What you see an awful lot of is terrible lighting and awful sound. So,
yes.
People are going to have to learn how to look better on this thing. And there's the opportunity to teach. And, that's a big one. So anyway, I think that I'm going to stop this recording, and thank you guys for watching.